Hello everyone, I'm Keith Hutchings from the Comfortable Home Project, and I'm here today in Mark Drexel's suburban Leaderville house, and they've got a small block in which they have created what are two really almost tiny houses, and I think you're going to be really amazed at how they've used the space. I really love these houses full of light and comfort. I think you're going to be impressed. And I'm here today with Mark Drexel from Streets of Our Town in his really lovely Leaderville house. So Mark, just to start, what is Streets of Our Town?
Streets of Our Towns is a property and community hyperlocal marketing and analytics company. What we're very keen to do is promote true localism and connections at an authentic level and help people really reconnect with the streets of their town.
Yeah, because you've really almost got a tiny house here, and
Yes.
a lot of the design elements are taking pages out of the tiny house kind of book.
Well, tiny house is about making every millimetre have a home. If a cost of construction equals $3,000 a square metre, you don't want to waste any square metre when you've only got 75 square metres of house to build. So it was absolutely vital that everything had to be thought through to the millimetre. And yes, tiny houses embrace that principle. We had a need to accommodate the family. We've got my stepsons who live with us part-time, my stepdaughter that lives us full-time, and then of course we need to live here full-time. So what we ended up building was two separate houses with an adjoining parapet wall through the middle, and through that parapet wall we put a door. And what we ended up with was a rather strange combination of 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2 kitchens and 2 laundries. That also allows for us as we get older to say, is that an additional source income? Is it an asset? Should we decide to sell it?
Mark, one of the things I really like that you put in is what I call the kind of tiny house features, and I love this.
We didn't have really a lot of space for a dining table, a dining room. So what we wanted was a dining bench, and we use it when you want to dine, surprisingly. And when you don't want to dine, you put it away.
One of the other kind of tiny house features that I really like is the way you created a storage underneath the stairs.
Can't have enough storage. And just because you live in a little house, it's important to cater for what a family needs, which is where do you put the Christmas stuff? Where do you put that once a year stuff? What better place than under the stairs? I'm trying to be a successful minimalist. I'm not necessarily achieving it yet, but it is the goal.
I could be a minimalist if I had a warehouse to keep all the stuff in.
I've got a car perversion, that's my problem.
Right. Talk to me about these courtyards.
Well, it was a real challenge. We have a 6 metre wide frontage block. We needed to get a second bedroom into the design, and they're long and skinny. And so the courtyard was the obvious solution. But it wasn't just a light well, it was a place where my stepson can get out there, he can have his relaxing space, his space, and it makes the room feel bigger, it gives natural light, gives cross-flow ventilation. So it's a really successful part of the design. The other thing is, it became the light for the ensuite and the second bedroom. So it's a really hard-working space within the house.
It's a brilliant piece of design. I wish more people would do something like
It's
this.
so simple. It's so easy.
What's it like on a cold winter morning in this house?
It's actually lovely. I mean, the key is, with good design, is embracing sustainability principles 101 and passive house design, cross-flow ventilation, natural northern light, harvesting it and harvesting it well. To the boundary behind us, we have lovely winter sun that permeates through. We were very conscious about planting deciduous trees, so that helps manage the winter sun and, most importantly, the summer sun. Sadly, those winter trees need another season to go up to really manage the summer sun, but I love the dappled light that it gives through in summer and the beautiful heat loading to the concrete slab and the thermal mass that heats up. There's been many a day that I've walked in and I've asked, who's left the air conditioning on? No one's left the air conditioning on, the house is performing, and that's what it's all about. So when we built the site, we were conscious about excavating back into the land. So at some sections of the house, we're almost a metre below natural ground level, and that helps also with the consistency of heat.
So a hot summer afternoon.
Again, it's fantastic. It makes you feel good, makes you feel healthy, and they're all quite below the line feelings and emotions that you get. And so it's not just about the heat, it's about everything that goes with it.
So Mark, I really love what you've done with the concertina doors here. The
Yeah, it was
bifolded.
really important, again, this small block, small house, to have this seamless relationship between indoors and outdoors. So the doors really allow us to connect through. It takes less than a second or two to open the doors, close the doors. And as we turn around, what's nice is you get this relationship. Now the trees, unfortunately, are in their winter cycle at the moment, which means we get the beautiful winter sun inside the house. Come summer, that's a full bloom of trees and coverage, which gives us a nice summer protection that we're looking for.
We live in a Mediterranean climate. You know, it's a middle of winter. I'm out there all the time. So, you know, to me, it's that seamless relationship between indoors and outdoors that's important.
Everyone seems to want to know the cost of a house per square meter. What did this cost?
We think it came in at about 2.5 to 2.7 per square metre, which is probably at the top end of a small boutique building cost project. To me, when you get into a little house like we are now, it's not so much the cost per square metre. It was actually the beautiful details that made all the difference. So yes, I could have put much cheaper sliding doors in, but the relationship to the courtyard and the importance of the courtyard in a little house's extended living area. It's also then the joys of nice quality appliances and light fittings. It's a lovely little detail things, the lights behind us, the 900 watt ovens, those things all come at a cost, but they make such a difference to the feeling of the house. My criticism with much of the building process is this 4 or 5 trades pool to do something. So for instance, when I look at this wall behind, a brickie laid the bricks, a painter painted it. Traditionally, you've got grey coat, you've got plaster, and then you've got paint. Not only is it very messy, but it's another whole round of trades pool. So when I build, I always try to think, how can I minimise trades and how can I maximise the aesthetics? And for us here, the inspiration was warehouse design.
Yeah.
And the key ultimately is, whilst not big, we've got a beautiful backyard called Leederville. Love walking through the streets. I love meeting the local cafe owners and restaurant owners. I love being part of my community and love living my community. And so there is a real exchange. And for us, the exchange is smaller house, smaller block, awesome community.
Is there anything you do differently?
That's a two-ended answer. I'm a sucker for punishment, so I would do it completely different because I'd build a completely different concept, which I've already got in my brain. Would I, with this house, do anything different? No, I must say in the main, I'm very happy. It was a very challenging exercise, is how do you make a house? Passive solar, how do you get cross-flow ventilation? How do you get natural light? How do you make it work for my combined family? How do you make it flow? And those came with logistics. There'd be probably a couple of minor window height sill details that I might make slightly lower or slightly higher. I might make a door slightly wider, but in the main, I'm very, very happy with it. And I'm very comfortable with it. And then my family really enjoys living in it, which is important too.
Thanks everyone for joining us. What an amazing model of what is possible on a small suburban block. 2 separate titles, houses that can either be one house or 2, but a house that's full of light, air, and a real feeling of spaciousness while still being on a tiny footprint. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have.